It's Monday, October 22. Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with your midday news. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. The St. Ann police are investigating a mob killing which took place on Sunday. This latest incident happened just hours after the body of 14-year-old Raven Wilson was found. The police say they are also following strong leads in that case. TVJ Shamela Pullen reports.
It was minutes after 3 Sunday afternoon when the police made the discovery. A large crowd converged at the entrance of the Edward Seaga Highway in Miami Bay, St. Ann, as the police probed the scene where the body of 21-year-old Kaheem Harrison was found. Mr. Harrison's body had multiple stab wounds. According to head of the St. Ann Police, Senior Superintendent Michael Smith, Mr. Harrison was mobbed and killed by community members after he was accused of sexually assaulting a 7-year-old girl a week ago.
It was done in the Marley community sometime in the morning. The mother of the child raised an alarm and confronted him, and the now deceased left the area and was spotted at a bus stop in St. Ann trying to leave the community when he was set upon by an armed mob who beat him, and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
SSP Smith is appealing to residents not to take matters into their own hands.
If an incident occurred, I am asking them to come to the police and tell us what they know so that proper investigation can be carried out and the person responsible will be held. But mob killing is not something that the police intend on. We condone, and I'm just asking the citizens to desist.
Meanwhile, SSP Smith says they're closer to a breakthrough in the investigation for 14-year-old Raven Wilson, whose body was found in Top Road, St. Anne's Bay on Sunday.
When the police officer back into the community this morning tried to ascertain some information from the citizens, I was told that they found one of her shoes, and that will sort of direct the police officer so that directly the incident occurred. So we're still pursuing the investigation. So I believe that what we have seen this morning, would have given us some clue as to what happened and possibly where it occurred.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the government says it will be implementing a number of strategies to protect children from violence and abduction. State Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Floyd Green, made the announcement at the recent International Child Protection Caribbean meeting. TVJ's Prince Moore has the details.
The child murder figure continues to climb, and the government is reportedly embarking on a number of initiatives to clamp down on it. Junior Minister in the Education and Youth Ministry, Floyd Green, said the government has a national plan of action to deal with violence against children.
Part of the process was to map the various ministries that treat with the protection of our children, to map the various agencies and to see how, again, we could connect the dots to ensure that, one, there was less duplication and more effective intervention. And that in and of itself was a very eye-opening and revealing process. And now we have to get to the implementation.
He further noted that there is also a plan that will protect children who get caught in the middle of custody battles. The State Minister noted that another focus area for the government is related to issues of international child abduction in family law cases.
A key component of this agreement is the expediency involved in the return of children wrongfully removed from their custodial parent and the usual place of residence. For us, this is really about the children. That's what I like about the convention. And it allows for a reduction clearly in the impact on the child and the family members.
For his part, Junior Minister in the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Ministry, Colonel Charles Jr., says greater focus should be placed on understanding the roles of the various conventions that the country has signed onto.
Jamaica can and must play a role in further sensitizing local and regional practitioners and policymakers on the effective implementation of relevant conventions. We can get it done, and we must get it done.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is blasting the opposition for what he says is a double standard between the national security ministers under successive governments. His comments follow a call by the opposition People's National Party for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to sanction former National Security Minister Robert Montague. The call came 2 days after a senior government official contradicted Mr. Montague's remarks about how gun licenses were granted during appeals. But speaking at the Jamaica Labour Party East Central St. James conference yesterday, Dr. Chang suggested that the PNP government was more corrupt in how they dealt with gun licenses.
Previous government give out gun license like it was selling fish, and all manner of people get gun license. Criminal, deportee, all kind of people, scammers, I get gun license go on the place like them is big man, and what them do they don't know. Bullets has run all over the place like rice. I want to know it gone.
He again insisted that Minister Montague at the time did nothing wrong, as under the law, he has the right to review all the license applications that were revoked.
You panel by a judicial committee, the minister reserve what they call a residual executive authority. So if you get a recommendation, you don't really fool with it too much. But if it takes long and things change, you have the right to make a decision. But in this case, the minister have more than a residual executive authority, because the law says if the review panel don't work within 90 days, the minister must get the file, look at it and make a decision.
In light of the alarming increase in fire-related deaths this year compared to last year, the Jamaica Fire Brigade started its Fire Safety Awareness Week with a church service in St. Anne's Bay on Sunday. Statistics from the brigade indicate that deaths have more than tripled so far this year compared to last year. And so this week's events will focus on education to prevent fatalities. More fire fatalities this year, but the increase in the number of minors is most troubling.
Last year, January to September, we had no child that died as a result of fire. This year we have 8.
So the week of events for fire safety seeks to educate children and households on how to prevent, deal with and escape from the deadly infernos. Chief Fire Prevention Officer Julian Davis Buckles says the Make We Fix It Fire Safety Awareness campaign started earlier this year with school visits each week by the brigade. But this will be ramped up for the coming week, starting with community and fire safety invasion tours.
We call this, because we love the Jamaican Creoles, so we call this Pandikana. Pandikana will be in the communities. We will set up in major squares, major plazas, and we go in the community and we'll talk to the people about what to do in the event of a fire. We will talk to them about, we will conduct simulation exercises, especially for the farming community. We teach them alternatives to burning.
The education campaign will also extend to children's homes and special needs children.
We want to actually use a proactive approach to ensure we actually educate the owners and operators of the various children homes or the various places of safety or the various institutions like schools to ensure they know what to do and they practice what is to be done.
Additionally, the mistreatment of fire hydrants in communities is another area to be addressed.
We'll all agree that our fire hydrants are missed. When you look at some of them, there's stuffed paper in them. A person might have one at their gate, and because the color is red and my house is purple, it don't match. So you just paint the hydrant purple.
It's not only illegal to change the hydrant color, but doing so creates a challenge for firefighters in the event of a fire. There will be forums and community walkthroughs throughout the week. The teams will be providing training for setting up fire escape plans on how to use extinguishers and will also be recruiting young people to join the Jamaica Fire Brigade. This afternoon, a call for school administrators to take advantage of the services offered by restorative justice centers to help prevent more youngsters from becoming criminals. There are currently 5 such centers in Portland, St. Anne, Trelawney, and St. Mary, but the Justice Ministry plans to have 1 in every parish by December 2019. Parish Manager for St. Mary and Portland, Andreen Lindsay, says as part of efforts to keep youngsters out of the justice system, the ministry has partnered with the Canadian government to provide free 2-day training for school staff.
We have lawyers every 6 weeks that come up and give the residents free legal advice. We also offer information on trafficking, child trafficking, and people trafficking.
Meanwhile, Custos Errol Johnson believes more persons need to pay attention to youngsters so they can identify early stages of behavioral changes that may lead them down the path of crime.
And the children who we neglected 20 years ago are the children that are causing the state of emergency all over the country.
Mr. Johnson was speaking at a Safe School Stakeholders Conference in St. Mary recently. Scores of commuters were left stranded this morning in Clarendon after taxi operators withdrew their service to vent their frustration over what they deem as deplorable road conditions.
We've been having a severe problem because the potholes been lining from way at Palmer's Cross, leading all the way up to Birdshill and onwards. But we are not particularly focusing on from Birdshill onwards. It's from Palmer's Cross to Chateau. It is in a deplorable condition and we need urgent attention.
The motorists used their vehicles to block sections of the Chateau Main Road in a bid to make their concerns known. They claim that the poor state of the road is costing them.
When we go through pothole them and we load, all like car bottom them and mash up. Car them are stuck, rain fall and so now we can't move to and from. Every week we have to buy parts to car and them something. The number one we want all one fare increase to, you know. We are begging us, so everything we want to adjust in a one. Because when I check it level, nothing not go on.
Public transport operators are again raising concerns about the poor lighting at the two transport centers in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. According to the operators, the poor lighting will have a serious effect on shoppers in the upcoming festive season. However, the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation has promised that improvements will be made for the Christmas season. Mayor of Black River, Derek Sangster, told TVJ News that he has ordered that new lights be installed which will aid in better visibility for the traveling public. Mayor Sangster further stated that the municipal corporation will soon be carrying out work on the #1 transport center in Santa Cruz to improve space. This, he says, is in keeping with the recent removal of public transport operators from an illegally operated park along Coke Drive leading to that facility. Thousands have been displaced due to floods in east and central Trinidad. For the last 3 days, their only mission was survival. In some places, floodwaters were close to 10 feet high. But for those who survived that, the harsh reality followed that they had lost everything. The details from Trinidad's CNC 3.
Most of these people are from the Greenville area.
Everybody was evacuated, not to say nobody could have left back. It was water was reaching people to their neck, to the waist.
At the La Joqueta South Government Primary School today, over 150 people were seeking assistance.
Everything was lost, because the water was almost chest high in the house, right? And the house is a bit elevated. So it was tremendous, and the cars are ruined. All the cars on the street are ruined.
But in all the travesty, many good Samaritans came to help, providing aid for the sick, to those who need clothes, medical assistance, and something to eat. In the central part of the island, the situation looked the same.
This is the worst flood that we get. It's 42 years I've been living in the back there, and it's the first time I have ever experienced a flood.
There were people lined up trying to get the necessities because they lost everything.
One member of the 15-man team suspected in the death of a Saudi journalist reportedly dressed up in the reporter's clothes and was captured on surveillance cameras around Istanbul. The man in the video was allegedly part of what investigators have said was a hit squad sent to kill the journalist at the Saudi consulate. We have more from the CNN.
At first glance, this man could almost pass for Jamal Khashoggi, and that's the idea. These are the last known images of Khashoggi alive, moments before he entered the Saudi consulate. Take a look. Same clothes, same glasses and beard, similar age and physique, everything except the shoes. But a senior Turkish official tells CNN that the man on the left is a body double, one of 15 Saudi operatives sent to kill Khashoggi and then cover it up. His name is Mustafa Al-Madani. Surveillance cameras capture him arriving at the consulate in a plaid shirt and jeans at 11:03 with an accomplice. 2 hours later, Khashoggi arrives. He was killed inside shortly afterwards.
While Khashoggi's fiancée waited in front of the consulate, we're told Al-Madani came out through this back exit. Disturbingly, he appears to have been wearing the actual clothing of the murdered journalist. The intent, Turkish investigators say, was to perpetuate the lie that Jamal Khashoggi left the consulate unharmed.
The apparent double and his companion take a taxi to Sultanahmet Mosque. It's one of Istanbul's main tourist attractions and an easy place to get lost in a crowd. The men head to the bathroom. The accomplice carries a plastic bag. When they emerge, Al-Madani is wearing his own clothes again.
And just like that, Jamal Khashoggi has disappeared forever, or so the Saudis would have had the world believe.
We go on to news in sports. Humble Lions are still winless under new coach Glendon Admiral Bailey after going down 4-3 to Dunbeholding in the Red Stripe Premier League. Meanwhile, Tivoli Gardens managed to snap a 2-game winless run against UAFC. And in other games, defending champions Portmore United recorded a 3-2 win over Arnett Gardens, while Cavaliers had a comfortable 3-1 win over Montego Bay United. Harbourview will host Mount Pleasant in the Monday night fixture. And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.